So the situation in Iraq continues to get more and more awkward. ISIS has been beaten back in many respects, which is certainly a positive thing. But then we get the news on the mixed reactions from the Shia militias that are currently fighting ISIS. So some fighters are literally sitting out in protest of the U.S. helping them, which is really strange. And then you have others, there are a few who, according to the World Post, are actually happy that the U.S. is helping, but it appears as if there's some pretty strongly held beliefs and conspiracy theories among the Shias fighting ISIS that they believe that the United States is on the side of ISIS. I don't know how the fuck they can think that. We're bombing the shit out of ISIS on a daily basis. But the conspiracy theories are strong, and there are a lot of Shia fighters who believe that. And remember that a lot of these Shia fighters are fighters who, when we had the Iraq War under George W. Bush, our troops were fighting them, and they were fighting our troops. So you want to talk about an unholy alliance. Yeah, ISIS is definitely the worst group in the region, but we are teaming up with people who, we don't like them, they don't like us, which is, it partly explains some of the resentment and some of the conspiracy theories amongst the group. So World Post explains, quote, there are roughly 3,000 U.S. troops and advisors in Iraq, some of whom are tasked with training Iraqi forces to fight ISIS. They are mostly on heavily secured bases, not on the battlefield. Shiite militia fighters, both paid and volunteer, have dominated the fight for Tikrit. They number an estimated 30,000, said to be up to 5 times as much as Iraqi forces. So let's pause there. So the Iraqi forces, we spent billions of dollars building up the Iraqi forces when we left. They collapsed immediately when ISIS showed up. So now we went back in there to try to rebuild them up again to try to get them to fight ISIS. Yeah, we rebuilt them up a little bit, but who's doing a bulk of the fighting? The Shia militias. Who are the Shia militias backed by? Iran. So it's so, like, the U.S. is so ineffectual and pathetic. We waste billions of dollars to build up a force that collapsed immediately and doesn't want to fight ISIS. And then we go in there and try to do it again, and we don't do a good job, and the Shias have to step up and start fighting ISIS. So we're like a fucking a chicken running around with its head cut off. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We have no clue. And then also, remember that with the situation in Yemen, we're on the other side of the Sunni-Shia fight. So when it comes to fighting ISIS, ISIS being Sunni fundamentalist, we're on the side of the Shias. We're like, yeah, go fight them and kill them. Yay, we're on your side. But then in Yemen, with the Houthi Shia rebels fighting the Sunnis, we're like, oh no, we're with the Sunnis if you move 100 miles away to Yemen. Oh, we're totally with them because we're on the side of Turkey and Saudi Arabia and Egypt, our allies. So yeah, depending where you point to, in one area we're on the side of the Shias, in the other area we're on the side of the Sunnis. Why? Because we're fucking confused. Because we're idiots, actually, is more like it. So they continue here and say, quote, a leader of major Shiite militia forces accused the United States of attempting to steal the victory from Iraqi fighters despite the offensive slowing in recent weeks and issued an alarming threat. He said, quote, they made a deal with the Iraqi government without asking the volunteer Shiite fighters or ground commanders. So we say to them that our forces are staying and ready to target American forces, and we will eliminate them and their creation of ISIS on the ground in Tikrit. Whoa. Whoa. So do you understand what I just told you here? The Shia fighters who are on our side fighting ISIS are like, we ain't on your side, bitch. We'll start fighting you. We'll fight ISIS and we'll fight you, the American soldiers who are here. We don't like you. Fuck off. And they believe that the U.S. is behind ISIS. Not in the way that we know is true, like the way that our incompetence brought about the situation where they rose up. No, they think like we're literally like allies with them working with ISIS. Okay. Look at this massive clusterfuck that we're in. Our side in that fight against ISIS, the Shias, they're now threatening to kill us. I've never seen better evidence in my entire life that we should be out of the region. Get out, get out, get out. I don't want any American dying because of that fight. Guess what? The Sunnis and the Shias, you know what's going to happen with them? They're going to fucking have at it, man. They're going to have at it. They're going to have at it, just like the Catholics and the Protestants in Ireland. They're going to have at it, and there's nothing we could do to get in the middle and stop it. We're not Superman. We don't have the ability. What are we, the world's best psychologist or psychiatrist? We're going to give them some MDMA and sit them down, and they'll hug it out eventually? Fuck no. That's not going to happen. Here's what you do. You get the fuck out. Don't have any involvement in there whatsoever. No airstrikes, no intelligence, no ground troops providing logistical support, nothing. Get them all out of there, and then guess what? The Sunnis and the Shias are not going to be able to point their finger at America for much longer, right? I mean, they'll do it, but then after a while, it's like, all right, America hasn't been here for 30 years. We can't blame them now. And then let them have at it, man. Let them fight each other. Whatever happens, happens. And the only thing we need to make sure is that you never have ISIS get their hands on some sort of weapons of mass destruction. That's it. That should be our only goal, is to protect the United States of America, to make sure that the United States of America does not get attacked. That's it. But right now, we're doing the opposite. Right now, when we're so entangled in the situation, what have we now done? Made enemies on both sides! We've now made it so that instead of ISIS focusing on Assad in Syria and focusing on the Shias in Iran, now they're also mad at America and going to want to attack America. And now our people who are on our side, the Shias, are like, no, fuck you. We're going to kill you too, Americans. If we weren't there, neither of them would say that. So how about we get the fuck out and let them fight each other, and whatever happens, happens. See, this is what I call non-interventionism. You need to have a criteria from which you make decisions about foreign policy. And here's the American criteria. That's the American special needs noise. More war all the time, more war. Flip sides and then go flip sides again, and then arm the Mujahideen, but then they'll fight us later, but then arm these people, they'll fight us later too. And there's more war, more fighting. Good idea, more fighting. How about our criteria is this? Is there a threat of imminent attack against the United States of America? No. Okay, then not even having the conversation. We're done. Get the fuck out of Dodge. I don't want any Americans dying, and I don't want to breed any more hatred towards America. If the Sunnis and the Shias want to have at it, go right ahead. Does it make me callous to sit back and watch it? Here's my response. If it does, I don't give a flying fuck.